All right. Hello, everyone out there in the virtual world. We are Upright Theater Company, and we are presenting a new work for the Arts Fort Worth Original Work Series. This is a work called Fair Trade by Seth Freeman. So let's introduce ourselves. I am Natalie Burkhart, and I'm reading the stage directions.
My name is Guerra. I will be playing the character Verdi Shirts.
Hi, my name is Josuê Summers, and I'll be reading for Frank Shapley.
Hello, my name is Cynthia Summers, and I will be reading for Catherine Shapley.
Hello, my name is Angel Somarriba, and I'll be reading Teddy Gilbert.
Hello, my name is Christian Black, and I'll be reading Dr. Bertram Roth, Ronald Barkin, and Parks.
Hi, I'm Gina Gowtz. I will be reading Denise, scrub nurse, and Hispanic woman.
All right, very good. So thank you so much for watching. We are so excited to present this new work for you. So I'm going to ask all of the actors to head backstage, and we are going to get started. Fair Trade by Seth Freeman, Act 1. A cone of light isolates a small playing space with the kind of whiteboard used in classrooms. On it are random words: gyre, innocence, anarchy, midterm. Catherine Hill Shapley, a sunnily attractive associate professor of English, reads,
"The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity." William Butler Yeats. Test next Tuesday. Study your asses off. Catherine Shapley.
Laughter from the class. Suddenly, Catherine reacts to a whopping stab of pain, sinks to the floor, pandemonium. Crossfade down right, Shaptronics Corporation dining room and cafeteria. Pleasant, sleek, chrome, and white for Silicon Valley's best and brightest. A dining room waitstaff worker, Verdi Shirts, with rolling trash barrel and mop, knocks on the door frame with the sign, Men. On the floor is a yellow plastic sign with black lettering, Piso Mojado, wet floor.
Hello? Knock, knock. Anybody home?
She
Hey!
starts to push the barrel through the door. A male voice shouts indignantly from within.
Hey, geez!
Oh, sorry.
Denise, the button-down dining room manager, approaches.
Verdi, we need to talk.
I called first, Denise, and knocked.
I know.
All this cost-saving waitstaff doing bathrooms?
That's what we have to talk about.
That wasn't the job description. Hey, sorry, guy.
Hey,
They're
Hey.
trying to make the balance sheet look good to do the merger. It's not full layoffs, just reducing hours so those with seniority.
Oh, don't tell me. I really need this income, Denise.
I'm sorry.
I've got kids.
You've been wanting to spend more time with them.
They don't want to spend it with me. They're always at my cousin Millie's. She's a yard, a basketball hoop, an Xbox. I'm the wicked witch of our tiny apartment, always asking them to do their homework, and I'm barely making the rent on that now.
Things will get better if this merger goes through.
Crossfade, upbeat music. Images projected on a screen at the rear above a raised playing space. A modern tech company at work. Chips stamped out by robots, clean rooms with workers in green scrubs, offices with young people in t-shirts around a computer as a narrator's voice intones. Shaptronic Corporation's 4 straight quarters of unprecedented earnings under Franklin Shapley's leadership highlight the company's strength. The raised playing space represents the corporate boardroom for Shaptronics Corporation. Teddy Gilbert, the main lieutenant of CEO Franklin Shapley, is showing his boss a PowerPoint presentation. The music fades.
I'm not sure, Teddy. It sounds like we're bragging.
We are bragging, Frank. That's what you do when you try to sell a multi-billion-dollar company.
You're the salesman. I'll be smart. Leave it in your hands.
So what are you going to do, boss? I mean, when you're just an ordinary citizen with your personal take of $600 million in the bank?
Nothing that different. Hey, Catherine is still going to teach. Maybe I will too.
Kids?
If she wants, if I'm not too long in the tooth.
You're fit, and Catherine is young enough. She's the one with the biological clock.
A phone rings. Picking
We
it
said
up.
no calls. It's about Catherine.
Crossfade. The white chrome cafeteria making a fast transition with a few changes to a suggestive hospital. A door frame divides the patient room where a woman, Catherine, is visible in a hospital bed. From the corridor where Frank talks to a doctor, a consulting surgeon, Dr. Bertram Roth.
I'm afraid the situation is serious, Frank. Her heart is just not doing what it needs to do.
Well, how do you fix it?
We don't.
So what's going to happen?
Her heart is going to give out.
She's young, in great shape.
This isn't about eating too many French fries or not jogging. Okay, this is a rare, degenerative, and irreversible condition. She's had it since birth.
You're sure?
I've gone over the data with her cardiologist and internist, other surgeons.
How long?
Days, at best, weeks. Her heart is very weak. A bit of the good news here is that Catherine will go right to the top of the list for a donor heart.
So she'll have a good chance to get one, right?
To have a fair shot at success, the donor needs at least 10 of 16 tissue matching factors. Kathy's genetics will make a good candidate, very difficult to find. We'll be scouring the whole region, I assure you, but I want to be realistic.
He pats Frank's shoulder and leaves. Teddy enters.
Boss, I am so sorry.
I want everything on this. The merger's on hold. Get a notice on every bulletin board in every emergency room. Make the company jet or charter available at a moment's notice.
Tapping into his iPhone.
I'm on it.
Frank enters the room, gazes at Catherine. She is too weak even to open her eyes.
I won't lose you.
Crossfade to Sheptronic headquarters. Teddy is on the phone.
Yes, I understand, of course. Thank you for trying.
He hangs up. He has been working nonstop, hasn't slept. It is hard to keep the discouragement out of his voice when Frank enters.
It turns out that speed limits, seatbelts, helmet laws do save lives. So there are fewer donors.
Right.
And if a donor heart becomes available, we only have 4 hours to get it into the recipient. So that limits the area in which we can look. I did an analysis of the odds of getting a suitable donor in the next 2 weeks.
And?
Slim. There are people with the right factors, just not very many. The odds of their dying in an accident with a salvageable heart are low.
But people exist who are a good match for Kathy?
A decent match, definitely. There are people walking around with hearts that could work for Kathy. It's just they plan on using them.
Are we sure of that?
Of what?
Their plans. The people with the good match.
We don't even know who they are. The only database we could even access is our own, or our own employment records. I'll get on it.
Crossfade, dining room. A part of the set suggests the ladies' restroom. Verdi sits on the closed toilet seat cover, talks on her cell phone.
Those bottles of mine behaving themselves? I appreciate it, Mill. You're the best. I mean, I gotta park them somewhere when I'm at work. Put them on, okay? Well, tell them to take 2 minutes just to say hello to their mommy. My next break? Hey, there might not be a next break. Come on. Can't they take a break from the Xbox? Can't they? All right. Fine. Whatever. What's more, one non-conversation with kids who could care less.
She drops the phone in her handbag and takes out a prescription pill bottle.
Take one for insomnia before bed.
Counting contents in her hand.
2, 6, 10, 15, 19, 20, 24, 28. That should do it.
She takes a minibar-sized bottle of bourbon out of her purse, prepares to toss the pills in her mouth and wash them down with the bourbon. Denise taps on the door.
Let's go, Verd. Break is over.
Birdie steadies herself a second time to chug the pills. Then she stops. She tosses all the pills in the toilet. She lowers the cover back onto the toilet, sits, drops her head in her hands, shaken by what she's almost done. She shudders convulsively. Tapping on the bathroom door and calling in.
Verdi, help us out here. 6 is up. It's getting cold. Let's go.
As Verdi leaves the bathroom, crosses to get the order, the dining room phone rings. Denise picks it up.
Dining room. Hold on. For you.
Setting it down.
After 6 gets their meal.
Verdi carries the dishes to a table off, returns and picks up the phone.
Yeah.
Lights up on Shaptronic Boardroom.
Hello, Miss Shirts. My name is Teddy Gilbert. How are you today?
Fine.
Miss Shirts, you went into the hospital in Dallas last year for some tests.
Yeah, they finally find something. They tried to tell me there was nothing wrong.
All the tests were negative as far as we know. Miss Shirts, but your blood type makes you eligible to participate in an experimental project. We would need about 10 minutes of your time for a blood sample when you're in specimen. We can pay you $100 for the inconvenience.
Look, I'm dealing with a lot of stuff right now.
Denise signals her to hurry things.
$100 for 10 minutes?
Yes, simple. You've had blood taken in the past.
When do I have to do this? I'm working, you see.
The sooner the better. Perhaps at the end of the workday today.
I can't.
This evening?
I'm busy.
Do you have some time tomorrow then?
I got a lot to do tomorrow. When do I get the $100?
At the test. We could pay you in cash if that would make it easier. Shall we say 8 tomorrow?
I'm working late here. Shall we say 10 tomorrow?
10 it is. Thank you. We appreciate your participation.
Birdie hangs up, hoping that at least with whatever this is, maybe she has finally started making good decisions. Crossfade to a hospital. Frank sits by Catherine's bed, holding her hand. She opens her eyes and attempts a smile.
Hey, we don't have to talk. You rest.
I know, but Frank,
Yes?
this thing that's wrong with my heart, I knew.
You knew you had this condition? You never...
No doctor has ever said anything. I've always been healthy, but I've had this feeling that I should do the things I love, not wait.
That's who you are.
And then I found you, and we've been together. So if this is all there is, I'm okay, really.
He watches her, filled with amazement, tenderness, and an even greater resolve. Crossfade to another part of the hospital, where Verdi appears holding a cotton ball in the crook of her arm, counting the 5 crisp 20s. Crossfade to the dining room. The kitchen bell dings. Denise arrives at the counter to pick up an order. Verdi swings by to pick up another order.
You out for a job somewhere already, hon?
I wish.
Alone or something then?
Why?
A guy was around earlier asking about you. Nice suit, nice looking guy.
Verdi nods. Her cell phone rings.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Millie. The Cowboys behaving themselves? Yeah. Asking about me? Well, what did he look like? No, most guys I see aren't good looking or well dressed. What did you tell him? Okay, thanks.
She clicks off thoughtfully. The dining room phone rings.
Dining room. It's for you.
Hello?
Lights up on Teddy in the boardroom.
Miss Shirts, this is Ted Gilbert. I would like to set up a time to come by and chat.
What about, am I sick?
No, no. As far as I know, you are in fine health. This is more in the way of a business proposal.
What kind of business?
A kind I think you would prefer to discuss in person. I could come by your house.
I don't know you at all.
Would you prefer someplace more neutral? Where would be a good place for you? I could come by at your place of work on a break.
Like when?
How about now?
Whoa, okay, what's the big rush?
I'll explain when I see you.
Well, I've got a break in about 20 minutes. It's the Shoptronics employee dining at...
Yes, I'm actually quite close by. See you soon.
Blackout. When the lights come up on the dining room, Verdi and Teddy sit at a table. Denise places Cokes in front of each of them.
Thank you.
Thanks, Den.
Denise goes, but can't help glancing back with unabashed curiosity.
I appreciate your seeing me on such short notice.
No sweat.
We have been doing some investigating of you.
You think I don't know it?
What we found, I'm pleased to be able to tell you, is that you are a very special person.
Verdi's features soften. Special is not a term anybody uses in connection with her, not these days.
The specimens you gave us have shown that your genetic background and your unique chemistry make you compatible with many different kinds of people.
I like most people.
Yes, of course. I'm talking about physical compatibility on the cellular level. I'll explain all of that in a bit, but this is important because I represent someone who is in a very difficult, very dire situation at the moment.
Dire?
A woman, a very fine woman, is dying. She has weeks, possibly only days to live. As fate would have it, you, Miss Schertz, are uniquely suited to help this fellow human being, amazingly so, in fact. And along with this chance to help comes an unusual opportunity for you. Again, if I'm going too fast.
What do you think you've said that's so deep?
Nothing, but there are some unfamiliar concepts.
Cut to the chase.
The first part would be more tests, more extensive and invasive than what you just had. If you are willing to have the tests, which would require a couple of days of your time and some discomfort, I am authorized to pay you $5,000.
You did say...
$5,000. However, if the tests show what we expect, that your heart is one that could be accepted by the dying woman, we would suggest a combination of heart transplants.
It has gotten very quiet. Verdi glances up to see if Denise is anywhere around, but she is not close.
You would give your heart to the other woman, and you are an extremely good match for her. At the same time, you, who can accept a much wider spectrum of donors, would receive a new donor heart. There are risks. This is a major surgery. If you are interested, we can provide you with as much medical information as you want, but whatever the outcome, what's guaranteed is that you, or in the worst case, your estate, would be given the sum of $40 million.
The worst case, like I die.
Yes, if that were to happen, then you would, at the very least, be ensuring for your children an inheritance of $40 million. The upside is, of course, considerable.
And that is?
Conservatively, there is about a 75% chance that you would be as good as new and able to live the life of a very wealthy woman.
If I died...
Yes.
Well, how would I know my kids would get the 40 million? I wouldn't be around to make sure that they didn't get screwed.
The money would be deposited in an escrow account before the operation. Ironclad papers would be signed to guarantee you and your beneficiaries the money. Receipt wouldn't depend on the outcome of the surgery, only that you go through with it. We will provide any other assurances you want.
Has this ever been done before? A living person giving an organ?
It is common with other organs like kidneys. For the heart, there has to be a second donor in what is called the domino procedure or transplant chain. Transplant chains with a dozen participants donating and receiving kidneys have occurred. It's not common, not common, but it's an accepted procedure. With the heart, even heart and lung, there is precedent.
How would I feel with someone else's heart?
You would feel however you would feel with 40 million extra dollars in your bank account.
But you're saying I could die.
Yes, I believe you have a 75% or better chance of coming through this. Maybe a lot better since you start in an excellent health. Naturally, you'll have to talk to the medical people until you're completely comfortable that you know and understand what's involved.
No offense, but this is the craziest thing I've ever heard. Of course, you can't go online today without reading about some incredible medical discovery and somebody doing some wild thing. I mean, wasn't there that woman who had a baby just so that she could give the bone marrow from the baby to her sick daughter?
Yes, I remember that case.
Taking out his
Shall
check.
we set you up for the next phase of tests?
I'll have to think about it.
Whatever the result, there would be no further obligation.
Which means I don't have to do any of this.
Teddy quickly puts away his checkbook, realizing he's overplayed his hand.
Of course.
Handing her a business card.
This has numbers where I can be reached. Call at any time, day or night. I will always take your call.
Right.
Thank you for your time, Ms. Schultz.
Crossfade to hospital, Catherine's room. Frank holds her hand.
Your class sent you flowers. Very pretty, in a poem. And our conversation works a lot better with you babbling than with me trying to do it all.
As Frank talks, he watches her struggling to stay in contact, slipping away. He sees Teddy just outside the room, gives a shake of his head. Crossfade to dining room. Verdi with an order, her cell phone rings.
Yeah.
Lights up on another area of the hospital. Teddy is on the phone.
I don't want to rush you, Ms. Schultz, but circumstances are not waiting for us. If you don't act soon, this opportunity will be gone.
Hey, no wonder you got here so fast. That card you gave me says you work for Shaptronic Corporation.
Yes.
Shaptronic just cut my hours in half.
Clearly, what we're proposing will more than make up for that. But we will restore your hours, whatever you decide, just to thank you for considering this. I don't want you to feel like I'm pressuring you.
Then don't.
Lights dim on Verdi. Teddy hangs up, discouraged. He turns to find that Frank is standing nearby.
I think she is interested. But I've dealt with CEOs, unions, engineers, politicians, but I'm afraid I'm not connecting very well here.
Well, what are our other options?
We're still doing a full court press, 24/7, but right now, this woman is the best bet. And physically, at the genetic level, she is a better match than we've ever could have hoped for.
Well, what's she like?
Uncertain.
Of course, I mean, would you do this?
I don't know.
I know. You wouldn't. What else? Is she bright?
I think she is, in a way.
What way?
KG.
I want to talk to her.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
We don't have any other ideas. If she'll come to the office, we'll try to make it informal, relax. Ask her to come for lunch or dinner.
I'll see what I can do.
Blackout. Lights up on boardroom. The table set for dinner for two. Verdi enters, taking it all in. She has gotten herself spruced up for the occasion. Frank greets her.
Hi, Miss Shirts. I'm Frank Chapley.
Hey,
Can I take your coat?
hell of a view from up here.
Yes, it's terrific, isn't it? How about something to drink? We could open a bottle of wine.
Cool. Yeah, let's.
Opening the wine.
Miss Shirts.
Verdi, I mean, we're having dinner together.
Well, of course, Verdi. I appreciate you seeing me.
No sweat.
Frank hands Verdi a glass.
So, you cooked dinner.
Oh, no, we have a company chef.
I know.
Frank smiles, enjoying her sense of humor, which she notices.
Right.
It's a nice perk. The peons who use the regular employee dining room shell out for their meals.
Well, providing meals in the executive suite keeps people on this floor at work, so it ends up paying for itself in increased productivity.
Yes, you're very productive around here.
I know that your dining room hours were reduced. That's the part of my job that I hate the most.
Hurts you more than it hurts us, huh?
Well, I'm not saying that. I know how hard it is. Really, I wasn't born in this office.
No.
No, I took the liberty of looking up your file. You went to Webster.
Homecoming queen, if you could believe it.
I can easily believe. I went there too.
Yeah? Well, it wasn't exactly the posh part of town.
I was ahead of you. You were in band. You played the.
Tuba. For like half a semester is all. I didn't like all the spit.
I was in the life science class in the C building near where the band practiced.
I took that science class. Beamish.
Yes, Mr. Beamish. I was in a group that was doing a presentation on iguanas.
He loved reptiles. That guy, I mean, maybe more than kids.
The atmosphere is turning to that of a first date that is going well in an environment that suggests how fun it could be to have vast financial resources. Both start to relax.
So we put this lizard down on Beamish's desk, and it's sewn out of its little reptile mind.
What, you gave the lizard drugs?
Well, tranquilizers. It was 3 feet long. We didn't want it to bite everybody. So the band is outside practicing, and the lizard starts moving to the music.
The lizard is dancing?
Kind of a reptile Macarena.
Oh, I can't believe you went to Webster.
Sure, ahead of you, of course.
I knew some older boys, but I don't remember you.
You wouldn't. And no, nobody knew me. We were so poor.
You were poor?
Yeah, it was just my mom and my brother and I. She was a checker at the market.
So you just study all the time, get good grades.
I hated being so poor. I sold newspapers, did odd jobs, made enough for the down payment on an old wrecked building down valley. I made deals with tradespeople to fix it up, sold it for a profit, then got into building supplies, then electrical parts, and I hooked up with some young guys who had paid attention in science and got into communication and electronics. I'm so sorry. This is boring.
Oh, I'm interested. I like talking to you, Frank.
Well, thanks.
Everybody's into all this internet and everything today. I mean, I don't even have a computer. Can you believe that? I mean, the kids use the one at my cousin's.
Well, it could be useful.
Well, I don't know how to work the damn things.
You would learn quickly. You have a fast mind.
This is nice.
Yes.
I wish it weren't just so I could be here and you can give me the big sales pitch.
Well, next time we'll make it about something else. Look, Ferdy, I know what we're asking you to contemplate is rather extraordinary.
It's insane.
I just think you are very brave and special person to even be considering this.
Frank, I don't want to mislead you here.
Well, I said considering, and you came tonight. So maybe a tiny part of you is thinking about that instead of sweating the rent, owning the world could be kind of appealing while saving a life along the way.
Be honest, Frank, you wouldn't do this.
Honestly, in this case, if I were a viable candidate, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Even if with no donor for me, just to save Kathy's life, she deserves to live. She's so good. And if I have anything at all going for me now, it is only because of Kathy. Before I met her, I wasn't worth knowing. Successful, but boring. Sort of a jerk. She humanized me. She made me a person.
Wow. You really love her.
With all my heart.
I would like to know what that feels like once in my life to be loved like that.
Can't believe you haven't been. Seriously, you are attractive, direct, funny, interesting, hardworking, intelligent. I wish I had known you in high school.
Yeah, Frank. Me too.
I mean, that apart from what we were talking about this evening, and apart from whatever you decide.
And it's gotta be a heart, right? I've got a special going on this month on appendixes.
Frank smiles, amused, and Verdi's eyes shine with the effects of the wine, the setting, the appreciation. Crossfade, company dining room. Denise considers a large box. Verdi enters.
Check it out, Birdie. This just came for you.
Reading the card.
With admiration, Frank Shapley.
Denise whistles at the name as Verdi opens the box and takes out a laptop computer in its packing materials. She removes the packaging to reveal a gleaming, brand new Mac.
That's top of the line.
Yeah, I guess the kids will help me figure it out.
So, are you doing this?
I haven't said yes.
But you haven't said no?
Hell, Denise, have you ever heard of something so crazy?
There's people risk their lives every day to make a living. Race car drivers, stunt guys, bull riders.
Yeah, well, not just the nuts. I mean, there's astronauts and them, fighter pilots, soldiers, cops.
Guys on skyscrapers. I couldn't do that. Hang 20 stories above the street with a welder? And in mines, they get that disease?
Oh, black lung? Oof, that's if the mine doesn't explode and collapse.
Still, it's got to be like 75, 80% chance of coming out okay for those people.
So, if you had one shot to catch the brass ring and be helping someone at the same time,
I'd grab it. You grab it.
would you though? I mean, be straight with me, Den, because if this was offered to you, would you do it?
Shit.
And you don't have kids. I've got kids.
Astronauts have kids, soldiers, cops, miners.
A guy hanging at the counter notices Verdi, gives her an encouraging smile. She smiles at him vaguely and looks away.
Hey, that's that perv from the restroom, isn't it? Does he work here?
He must be a sales rep or something. We see him every 3-4 months, likes to schmooze the lady executive. Not a bad looking fella, actually.
I think my guys are gonna grow up to hate me though.
No way, Verd.
I mean, they can barely stand my company. It just all sucks. Fact is, I was thinking of offing myself anyway.
Wait, what are you saying?
I had planned to kill myself. Right here in the restroom.
Verdi.
Just a few days ago. For no money.
Don't say such a thing.
Honest to God.
Hun, real serious now. You didn't have it so easy growing up with that mom of yours. It was why you're over at my house all the time. If you left nervous about being mommy, about screwing it up, but I've seen you with those boys. You love the socks off of them, and they love you.
The boys spend more time with my cousin Millie as it is, and she loves them too. She'd be happy to have them. They like it there. Worst case, they would be rich.
How rich? Bezos or Oprah rich? Gates rich? Because read the papers, hon. A few $1 million these days is chump change. These guys lose that before breakfast.
I know.
You got to look at what you're asking, what they're asking you to do, babe. Get it right. Don't be a fool. Whatever they offered, they got to be worth 10 times. 10 times that.
Verdi's cell phone rings.
Guess who? Hello.
Lights up on the boardroom.
Miss Shirts, Ted Gilbert. I need to get right to the point. Our situation has gotten more urgent.
Yes?
And I'm afraid we really need a decision.
I've done some checking on this company in the papers, and a friend of mine went online.
Good for you.
The company's on the block for a hefty price tag.
That's correct, but to the point.
Do you realize what you're asking me?
Yes, I think we do.
Because 40 million, I mean, you guys make that in a day.
In a day? No, not close to that. Actually,
Well, in a week. Am I sort of close?
we've been very successful.
So I was thinking you could probably go higher.
Well, almost certainly we can go somewhat higher. I would have to check, but as you know, we are extremely motivated.
I know.
So I feel fairly confident I could get 45, maybe even 50 million. Did you have a figure in mind, Miss Shirts?
Yeah, actually, a nice round figure. The figure I had in mind is about 300 million.
She winks at Denise, who smiles.
I see.
For each kid.
$600 million.
The kitchen bell dings and Denise signals that she'll get the order.
That's it.
Do you know how much money that is?
A lot?
Miss Shirts, we have tried to be generous, but this borders extortion.
It's a voluntary deal on both sides, isn't it?
Of course.
So, isn't that kind of a harsh word?
You're right. I apologize, but you have to consider what we're offering you. You're offering you a chance to go from basically no assets or even debts to 40, $50 million.
And I'm the one who could die, right?
Yes, that's right.
And if I live, be the one on those transplant drugs, maybe forever. True?
I believe so.
So this thing is not so clean and clear cut, no matter how you slice it. So I don't think I'm being unreasonable at all.
No, but what I don't think you understand is that we're down to mere hours now, and what quarterly reports show as paper profits don't really translate into readily available cash.
Maybe you should start translating.
Teddy tries to regain control of himself. He's been through big negotiations before. He also knows his boss's emphatic desires on this one.
I can't promise anything, but I can check into it.
That'd be good.
Okay, but let me understand what we're saying here. If I take this back and if something can be worked out, can you be ready to enter the hospital tomorrow, even tonight if necessary?
I'd have to arrange some things, but yeah, you get the jack and I'll make it work.
Okay, let's think positively. I'll work on it. You get a good meal, get a good night's sleep, no smoking or caffeine or alcohol.
Got it.
Verdi hangs up. She pulls out a pack of cigarettes from her pockets and shakes out a smoke. The guy at the counter parks from the restroom, slides off his stool, and moves in on Verdi.
Hey, doll.
Piss off.
Now that's not very friendly.
You think I'm gonna risk catching something gross right now? Get real.
Crossfade, Shaptronic offices. Frank and Teddy are in shirt sleeves, elbow deep in computer printouts, calculators, and cups of coffee.
Seriously, boss, I don't know.
The bottom line, Ted.
Well, you can forget about the merger. Your plans for the company, this will just be a fire sale liquidation.
Do we have the money?
I want you to understand, Frank, this will take everything. Medical and transportation expenses alone will be millions beyond whatever we pay this woman directly.
Use what I already have personally too.
I'm doing that, believe me. There's taxes on what we sell, and add 600 million after tax, you will be wiped out.
But we can raise it.
The business, the house, everything you've worked for all your life will be gone.
How quickly can we do it?
The security's in a day. The real property is obviously harder than in the company. Well, if we underprice it enough,
make it happen.
Frank, I think it's my job to be a voice of reality here. As much as you love Catherine, as much as we all love her, this is such a long shot. The likely outcome is that you will end up with no assets and no Catherine. I know this is terribly difficult. But
this is easy. I'm just glad I have the assets to do it. Go, you don't have time to waste.
Teddy nods. Crossfade, employee dining room. Verdi and Teddy sit at a table. Teddy has his briefcase out and papers spread all over the coffee table.
So we have basically set up a service agreement. The entire amount would be irrevocably in your possession before the start of surgery.
He looks up at Verdi, who is making a show of following, although she is really just excited at this point.
Is that clear so far?
Yeah, fine.
The counsel we made available to you to protect your interest and said they went over everything.
The lawyers you sent?
We enlisted them, but as your lawyers. We didn't want you to sign anything until you had your own independent legal advice. I just wanted to go over everything again to make sure it is all completely clear. If you have any questions, fire away.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really that complicated. You're buying something for a price.
Right. Good. So this agreement.
Is this like a contract, right?
It is a contract.
Good then. This where I sign?
Yes.
Teddy hadn't expected this to be going so easily now. Verdi signs. Crossfade, the hospital, outside Catherine's room. Frank has stepped out to talk to Teddy.
The deal with Verdi shirts, nailed down.
How are we coming on the donor heart for her?
It shouldn't be anywhere near as difficult as finding a donor for Kathy, but that still doesn't make it a slam dunk.
Are we getting any possibilities, any calls?
We've come close, but not yet. Should we talk about options if we don't find a donor heart for the shirts woman quickly? Heart machine?
Catherine is too weak to tolerate it.
Not for Catherine. I'm not saying we're there yet. We don't even know for sure that on medical side, Verdi shirts is a go.
Is shirts at least in standby mode?
She's ready, but we haven't received the last set of her test results yet.
Answering his cell.
This is Ted. Thanks. We have now. All systems.
Crossfade, employee dining room. Verdi stands in her travel clothes with a small rolling carry-on suitcase nearby. Teddy enters.
Ready,
Thanks.
Miss Hertz?
Yeah, thanks for picking me up here instead of the apartment. I didn't want to lay all of this, on the kids,
What have you told them?
Just, I'm going on a trip. They're used to staying at my cousin's. They love it there.
Her cell phone rings.
This should be them. Let me just say goodbye. Michael, Kevin? Oh yeah, Millie. Well, can't you get them in from outside for 2 minutes? Fine. I'll call at the airport.
Everything all right?
Let's just get going, okay?
She picks up her suitcase. Blackout. In the black, we hear the sound of a large jet taking off, followed by Caribbean music, steel drums, rhythmic and sexy. Then lights up on a luxurious hotel room, suggestive set. There are welcoming sprays of flowers and an oversized basket of fruit, sound of the surf crashing on the nearby beach. Verdi looks out through the windows at a beautiful expanse of white beach and deep blue ocean. Tail out music.
It's amazing. I've never seen an ocean so clear. From the plane, I could see the sand on the bottom.
Yes, it's beautiful here.
I expected I was going to be taken to some hospital.
The hospital where Kathy is now is about a mile away. You are in good health, so you just need to be close. We want you to be comfortable.
Thank you. They say the water isn't just clear, it's warm too. Is Frank's here, right? Ask him if he wants to go swimming later.
Sure. I can ask. For now, Verdi, is there anything we can get you?
Do they have smoothies?
Picking up a phone.
Yes, a smoothie for Miss Search, please. Strawberry, banana, mango. All of the above. Thank you.
Crossfade. Lights up on a hospital room, different from before, but similar, as hospital rooms are. A very out-of-it Catherine is in a bed. Frank and Teddy consult at a slight remove.
We fly over 3,000 miles with full medevac transport for Catherine. Verdi in the facility committed, and the doctor isn't even here?
He'll be landing in about 3 hours. He cut his South Africa conference short.
Did he question our coming here?
I told him it had to do with the unique situation of the donor, and it also cuts down his travel time.
Well, that's all in fact true.
He's a star. He has patients fly from Europe and Asia to have him do surgery. He's been flown to do guest surgeries before. He's used to it.
Okay. What does he know?
What he needs to know.
Ted.
He knows Catherine's case better than anyone, of course. how difficult it is. And he knows we found a donor. Other details can wait till he's here.
So we don't really know that he's on board with the idea of a domino transplant with a living volunteer as a middle step.
Frank, the guy is brilliant. He's also arrogant, impulsive, independent. He skirted the edge more than a few times. We have a pretty good file on that if we need to use it.
I'm sure.
But we won't need it. Bottom line, he won't be able to resist the challenge like this.
Going back in with Catherine. I don't know if they'll allow 2 visitors at the same time.
The rules here are strict. Anyway, with what we're paying them, we own the place.
Teddy follows Frank to Catherine's bedside. After a brief look at her, Frank glances at Teddy and shakes his head slightly to let him know that she has slipped even more. They step back.
Anything on the other donor? This is all for nothing without that.
We're pushing the network as hard as we can.
Teddy's cell phone rings. He answers.
This is Ted. Let me see. I think this is the phone call you'd better take, just to keep everything on track.
Hello?
The lights come up on Verdi's hotel suite. Verdi, on the phone, is looking out at the spectacular view.
I was just thinking, Frank, let's have dinner.
Oh, well, thank you, Verdi. But Kathy has been getting weaker. I want to stay close.
Is she conscious?
Barely.
So she barely even knows you're there, and she gets you full time.
I think it's important for me to be near her right now.
I enjoyed our dinner.
So did I.
Okay. Well, I'm here, so, if you want to hang or anything.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Right.
He clicks off and she hangs up wistfully. Blackout. The lights come up on the hospital outside Catherine's room. Frank and Teddy sit in a couple of chairs. Teddy drinks a juice from the machine.
I haven't told Kathy the whole story of what we're doing.
Probably not information she can process right now.
But she's made her peace with this thing, with her condition and the possibility of a bad outcome.
Knowing her, I'm not surprised.
I'm the one that wanted to pull out all the stops. And you did a fantastic job, an incredible job. But doing this was my call, not hers. And as we get so close, I'm just starting to think that it's wrong to do it, to do all this without Kathy's full understanding. And okay.
It's her only option. What can she object to?
Nothing, I would hope. But I feel I can't go ahead unless I trust her enough to find out.
You want me with you?
Thanks, but no, I'm the one who has to do this.
Frank enters Catherine's ICU room and its timeless environment. The soft burble and beep of machinery. Something is different. Kathy is still, as though in a deep sleep. Frank touches her shoulder.
Kathy? Kathy?
Ted stands in the doorframe.
Not right now, Ted.
The nurse just said she has slipped into a coma.
Frank understands that his chance of finding out what his wife would have wanted is now gone, probably for good. Crossfade, Verdi's hotel suite, where Verdi is trying on new clothes that have been brought in for her.
Ta-da! Oh, get real.
You can afford it.
I don't get the money if Catherine Shapley doesn't make it to the surgery.
It's on me.
Verdi is pleased. Teddy's cell phone tone sounds. He glances at it.
Oh, this could be showtime. Yes?
As he gets the answer, he nods to her to indicate that it is, in fact, time.
Yes.
She starts to take off the sundress.
Keep it on. We have to move.
Verdi pulls on sandals while Teddy scoops up her purse for her. Verdi stops at the door.
You okay? You feeling scared?
Yes. And blessed.
Crossfade, hospital. Dr. Roth, just off the plane in street clothes, strides along with the scrub nurse.
Are both ORs ready?
They're finishing a tonsillectomy in 2.
Get them out of here.
He pushes through the double doors into the scrub area. He starts the ritualized washing of hands, turns to get gowned and gloved by a nurse. Teddy, in sterile garb, comes up to him.
Dr. Roth, Teddy Gilbert. I work with Frank Shapley. We are very pleased your schedule permitted you to do this operation. Not only do you know Catherine's case, but when we went back to do the research, yours was the one name.
I'm just glad that you found a donor. I really didn't think it was going to be possible.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to brief you on our donor. She's a female, no known pre-existing conditions, and an amazingly close match on 16 blood and tissue factors.
Pretty good. Damn good. How did she die?
She did it. She isn't dead. She's alive.
Brain dead, you mean? Legally dead?
No.
I'm sorry. I'm not following.
She is a healthy woman in her early 30s who is donating her heart to Catherine Shapley. We have a quality donor heart for her, which is arriving here in a few minutes. Car crash. The heart appears in excellent condition and is a good match for her.
Teddy makes this statement as matter-of-factly as he can, but the doctor looks at him in complete astonishment.
You're serious?
Yes.
For God's sake!
In the next moment, the doctor rips off his green scrubs and throws them to the ground. He heads out quickly.
Dr. Roth!
Frank enters and sees Dr. Roth blasting off at the scrub area, Teddy following at a half jog. Frank steps over to intercept the doctor.
Wait, Dr. Roth, where are you going?
To practice medicine the way I was trained.
Weren't you trained to save lives?
Not by doing operations on healthy people.
Not just healthy. She's in superb health.
Which nothing, Frank. That still means you want me to perform a major invasive surgery on a healthy person. We don't do that.
Bert, just hear me out. Hear me out. You are the best. Nobody in the world is more skilled at heart transplants.
When necessary. To save a life.
This is necessary to save a life.
Roth turns away disgustedly.
You know that for sick people who get new hearts, the survival rate is 80% now. At a top facility, more like 85%. With a strong donor heart and with the surgery done well, a young woman starting out in good health has an excellent prognosis. And she wants to do this. Talk to her. Okay. If you don't find that to be true, then the whole thing is off.
The whole thing is off. It was never on.
You're Catherine's doctor. Don't you have a responsibility to your patient?
Yes, and a responsibility to other patients.
Doctor, obviously this is not an insurance case. You're being paid $4 million for each operation in cash, in full. $8 million for a day's work.
No, I am not being paid anything because this is not a procedure that I ever authorized medically.
So is this about medicine or ego?
Teddy.
Doctor, that came up wrong. I'm sorry, but all I'm trying to say is that we set it up this way to protect you. If we went about it the wrong way.
There is no right way. What is the matter with you people? This cannot be done. Over and out.
The scrub nurse wheels a gurney around the corner. On it is Verdi Shirts.
Hey, Frank. First time I've seen you since I got here.
Hey, Verdi.
So, D-Day, huh? And H hour. H for heart.
Evidently not.
What do you mean? Why? What's wrong?
Dr. Roth, this is Verdi Shirts, our volunteer donor. Verdi, Dr. Roth is the surgeon in this case. He doesn't want to proceed.
What?
I can't operate on you, Miss Shirts, if you are not sick.
But Catherine is. She's very sick.
If we could find a good donor heart, then she'd get it.
But you can't. She could die. She will die.
That is a sad fact, but it is not relevant.
Well, it would be relevant if she were my child and if I was giving her my kidney or half of my liver.
You could live with half a liver, but not without a heart.
I can live with a donor heart.
Maybe.
Almost surely, doctor. I know your track record. You never lost a patient in a transplant.
There is still a great deal of risk.
I am willing to take the risk. I want to take it.
It's not your call.
Then whose damn call is it? For God's sakes, this is my life we're talking about here. Mine too. And this is the best thing that has ever been offered. What gives you the right to blow this for me?
Bert, the only thing we know for sure is that if you don't act now, someone is going to die.
This is insane. None of you seems to realize that what you're proposing is utterly preposterous.
It's novel, that's all. The fact remains you are faced with the choice between life and death. In the next couple of hours, doctor, please choose life.
PA announcement. Code blue, room 1021.
That's Catherine's room. Damn. Does that mean what I think it means, Vert? This is it. If we do nothing now, we lose Kathy.
Get her into OR and prep stat. Keep ventilating the other patient and get her in there.
The nurse pushes Verdi's gurney rapidly off. Roth runs off in the other direction, leaving Frank and Teddy staring at each other uncertainly as the stage goes black. Lights up center stage. Green, otherworldly light isolates a lone figure in a surgical scrubs, Dr. Roth. Although we know that, of course, he is surrounded by a whole team, including other surgeons, anesthesiologists, nurses, only one or two of whom, in a shadowy way, we can see. The focus is only on him. Finally, he alone has made the fateful decision. At the same time, another sheaf of light illuminates Frank to the side, pacing, waiting, hoping, terrified. Roth lifts up an object, a glistening red heart, which he has removed from one chest cavity. He puts it in a metal tray. Then he lifts up another shimmering red heart as it gleams in the tight pin light. Blackout. End of Act 1. Act 2. The Shaptronics employee dining room, months later. The phone is ringing. Denise enters and picks it up.
Employee dining? Oh, hey, Verdi. What's up?
Lights up on what is part of a large mansion. Boxes on the floor, covered furniture, moving in process. Verdi, in a sheer robe on the phone, alternately holds up 3 different designer dresses on hangers, one in green, one cream, and one black.
The green is a good color for me, but I like the detail on the cream, and the black is the most useful.
I thought they all looked good on you.
The green one needs the most work.
Minor stuff compared to the cost of the dress.
Maybe I'll just keep them all.
That's what I do, girl. This must really be fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Crossfade to a small apartment, a set more suggestive than realistic. Catherine sits up in bed. She has survived, but is recovering more slowly than Verdi. Frank enters with a bed tray.
Thank you.
I hope you're hungry.
Not really. These anti-rejection drugs kind of slam my whole system.
I'm sorry.
But I've got a good heart, they tell me.
Best I could do on a short notice.
You're amazing.
Frank kisses her shoulder, starts to slide his hand under her t-shirt. She stops him gently, kissing his hand.
The scar.
To me, it's the most beautiful thing in the world.
Crossfade, Verdi's mansion. She sits with attorney and financial planning expert Ronald Barkin. He is taking notes on a yellow notepad.
So the money is in the bank, which is only insured up to like 100,000.
$250,000 now.
Right, but still, with all the banks crashing and burning around the country and whatever.
You're certainly not getting the best return. How much money are we talking about, roughly?
I've bought some stuff, so it's less now.
Just an estimate.
I started with 600 million.
You mean 600,000? $600,000.
$600 million.
In a bank?
This is my point.
That is a very great deal of money. Is this an inheritance?
It's what I was paid.
For
Consulting. It's complicated.
Okay, so then $600 million is your net after taxes?
Nobody said anything about taxes.
So you were paid $600 million gross
Yes.
for consulting. I'm sorry. I do need to know that these funds were acquired through legal means.
It was all very legal.
Acquired entirely in 1 year.
Yes, but I don't know about any taxes.
Well, you might owe some taxes. We'll have to take a look at your employment agreement. You did have an agreement, a document of understanding.
I have a contract, a services agreement.
Okay, we'll review that. In the highest bracket after federal and state tax, we're probably looking at 380, 400 million.
You mean just like that, it's $200 million less? Are you telling me I got ripped off?
You weren't ripped off if you were paid in full.
Losing $200 million?
We all pay taxes.
Man, see, I took this big risk, but I did it so I could be rich. Beyond rich.
Well, I think for most people, $400 million qualifies as beyond rich.
After the house and the Mercedes and other stuff, it's probably already down like another 5-6 mil.
Well, those items would still be assets, but clearly you could benefit from some financial planning.
I guess.
So this is exactly the kind of full spectrum service we provide. As attorneys, we would be the quarterback of your team. The first step would be to involve a top-notch financial planner.
Another person collecting a paycheck.
Customarily, they get paid as a percentage of the portfolio, so they do well only if you do well. We would propose a broadly based portfolio. We would then determine an amount you needed to live on and send you a monthly income check.
You would have my money and give me an allowance? Like a kid?
Well, it would be a good deal more than what anyone would give a child. And if you needed more, you would just ask for it. It's your money.
And you would be charging me for this. And the other guy too.
You are asking the right questions.
He takes papers from his briefcase, slides them toward her.
This is a list of our fees, and this is a typical schedule of fees for a financial planning group.
You are certainly not cheap.
We've been in this business a long time and have a recognized record of wealth preservation and enhancement. The financial planners also have a strong track record. The increased return should more than cover their fees. Is all of this clear?
You're saying you're worth it.
I am saying that. I know that you are losing money every day and that your assets are sitting idle.
Well, of course, I know that too. I just needed to deal with some health stuff.
Okay, so initially we will split your assets into different types of investment.
Hey, hold on. I haven't said we're doing this yet.
Right.
It sounds like you're trying to take over my life.
We would be taking control of your financial life.
Oh, I bet you would. If you controlled everything, well, how would I know you wouldn't be ripping me off too?
Right. There would be constant communication with frequent statements.
But you would be the one doing all this.
We could structure something less formal.
We can structure that I keep my own money. Well, what's left of it. How is that? Marla will show you to the door.
Barkin isn't sure how this conversation went south. Crossfade, the whiteboard, rostrum, and other suggestions of a classroom. Catherine walks in carrying books.
Good morning, everybody.
We hear the class applaud.
Thank you. It's so good to be back. Amazing, in fact.
Crossfade, the mansion. Verdi in pricey sweats is on the phone.
Yeah, thanks for taking them, Millie. They drive me nuts if I don't let them see you, even with all this new space they've got to play in. Okay, later.
She hangs up, walks past a shiny new and never used exercise machine. She walks through the space aimlessly, a little lost. In the media center, she clicks the remote for a large flat panel TV, runs through a few channels. Boring daytime fare. She clicks off. She picks up the phone and taps a number.
Hey, Denise, what's shaking? You want to come over? Your shift doesn't start for a while. We'll bring him. Well, I haven't even met this guy. Yeah, we can watch a movie. It's not that far. You make Youngsville sound like it's the other side of the world. No, there's lots of people who want to be my buddy now, but you're the only one I can trust. You and Millie. Okay. We'll talk on the weekend.
She hangs up, more lonely than ever. Crossfade, another similar looking classroom. Frank enters uncertainly.
Hi, my name is Frank Shapley, and this is about the scariest thing I've ever done. The fact is, I wasn't such great chicks in school, and I don't have a credential, but they're letting me teach this class because I know a bit about starting businesses. And I'm going to try to tell you what I know. And one thing's clear already, though. CEOs get paid way too much more than teachers.
Crossfade, mansion, evening. Verdi, in an expensive and revealing outfit, enters with Parks, the guy who hit on her earlier. They grope each other, fumbling at each other's clothes. Taking a break from making out and looking around.
Wow. This is some house. Good structure.
She pushes up his shirt to reveal the hard abs beneath.
Very good structure.
She turns, snuggling her back into him. He pats her head and steps away, leaving her hanging, examining the place in earnest, impressed.
I used to be in construction. This is top notch.
You're more into the house than me.
Hey, to be fair, I was interested in you when you were swabbing floors. The spore I saw your crib.
He puts an arm around her. She snuggles against him and feels something.
Whoa, what is this, dude? A gun? Are you kidding me?
I travel, it should make you feel safe.
Creeps me out. You want something to drink?
Sure.
She heads off as Parks investigates.
I've got a real nice white wine, chilled. We used to get wine like this for $4 and like a bottle, and this was 60.
You like nice things, huh?
Parks fingers an expensive object art, a silver cigarette lighter, on the antique Parsons table.
They send the cases direct from this vineyard in Napa, so it'd be even more expensive in a store.
As Verdi returns, Parks slips the object into his jacket pocket, handing him a glass.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So, Parks, word on the street is you're kind of a serial dater. Don't stick around, Mom.
Never found anyone worth the repeat business.
A man of high standards, huh?
Rubbing his hand over the mahogany table.
You got a great setup here. You must have made the best divorce statement or settlement in the history of the state.
Whoa, what? That's some bias there, dude. A woman can't do well on her own? I mean, it's got to be from a divorce?
You said you were divorced.
Yeah, like the worst divorce in history. I got all of this place, everything myself.
Awesome. But it has a nice bedroom. Or 6.
He starts to embrace her. Verdi moves away.
We just got here.
Right. No rush.
He unstraps gun, puts it on the table. He takes off his jacket, puts it on the table as well. It lands with a clunk.
How many pieces are you carrying?
Before he can react, she feels in the pocket of his jacket and pulls out the silver cigarette lighter.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's not what it seems.
Really? Because it seems like my cigarette lighter. Unless you just happen to carry one just like this heavy sucker around in your pocket.
Well, of course it's your lighter.
Then it seems like you're ripping me off.
I was gonna surprise you. Yeah, by getting into praise. See, I know this guy.
Right. Good night, Parks.
It was stupid. I admit that.
Handing him his jacket.
Big of you.
I made a mistake, but look.
Pointing the gun at him.
You look.
Hey, that's a complicated weapon, all right? You need...
She pulls the trigger and a bullet grazes the floor near his feet.
Shit!
Ow.
Opens the door. He retreats quickly and she slams the door after him. Crossfade, classroom the next day. Frank is organizing a pile of books. His cell phone rings.
Yeah.
Lights up on the mansion. Verdi sits on a chair, her feet in a plastic tub. A cleaning person or helper is pouring steaming water into the tub. Verdi has the phone.
Easy, too hot. Oh, hi, Frank.
Oh, how are you, Verdi?
Long time no see. I heard Catherine went back to teaching.
I just started.
So she must be pretty busy.
She is.
So yeah, I thought you'd have some time on your hands and maybe we could hang out.
Oh, I'm teaching too, Verdi.
Well, that's cool.
I can tell you it's very challenging.
Yeah. So then you're pretty busy too.
I am. So then, how are things going with you?
Great. Get a few $100 million and all these people want to be your friend.
So everything's good?
Good. Excellent.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. Well, I got to prepare for my next class, but it was nice of you to call.
Right.
You take care, Verdi.
You too, Frank.
He hangs up, troubled by the oddness of the call. Lights out on classroom. Verdi hangs up and eases her feet back into the water.
Oh, damn bunions were never bad like this.
The stage goes black. Lights come up on the mansion. The cleaning person, angry, is backing up, pursued by an equally angry Verdi.
You want severance, Marla? Your severance would be for longer than you worked.
Worked hard. I passed up other job. You agreed at least 2 weeks severance if you let me go.
I'll give you double severance. Just beat it.
The woman goes and Verdi notices the man standing there, Ronald Barkin.
Yeah?
Ronald Barkin, we met last week. You asked me to come by at 4:30.
Oh, come in. My 6th housekeeper this month.
Oh, we could recommend a service.
I don't need another service. Come in. Sit. I'm glad you don't mind coming down here. I hate traffic going into the city this time of day.
Hey, no problem.
Let's have a drink. I got a good scotch. Like, I need somebody to do this. Like, I can't pour this drink myself,
Thank you.
God, I don't know. It's like I never feel really good, never feel right.
Tired?
Yeah, my feet hurt.
Have you been to a doctor to check circulation or?
I don't need a doctor to tell me that my circulation has been off since I had my heart surgery.
You had a bypass?
A transplant.
A heart transplant?
Am I not speaking English? Yeah, I got this new heart, but ever since I just don't feel right.
It's a major surgery, and there's anti-rejection.
All of that went fine. I didn't have a bad side effect. It's just now I get these headaches, and mainly I'm just sort of feeling bummed all the time.
What was wrong with your heart?
Nothing. My old heart was fine. That's what I'm saying. I think the new one just doesn't have the oomph or something.
I'm sorry, Miss Schertz. I don't understand. You had a transplant, but your old heart was fine.
I donated it to this lady. She was going to die.
Donated a heart?
Yeah, well, for money. And to help her out, too, of course. They got this new one for me.
Hold on. Are you saying that you traded, so to speak, a perfectly healthy heart?
Yeah.
Doctors removed a healthy heart from a healthy patient.
Yeah. We lived a lot of years together. Without it, I just feel, I don't know, lonely. Never mind. Let's get to business.
We will, but this might be relevant. Do you mind sharing a few more details?
It's what I said. The heart that was mine, that I nurtured for years, is working for somebody else.
Amazing.
Belongs to somebody else.
Maybe not.
What do you mean?
Belong is an odd term in this context.
No, they've got a contract. Do you want to see it? Do you think there's a flaw in it?
I doubt it. From what you're telling me, I'm sure the other party was very thorough, and it's a well-documented document. I'll look at it, but what I strongly suspect is that it doesn't matter what's written in the contract. I don't think it's possible under law to buy and sell living parts of a human body. It is certainly not possible since the 14th Amendment to buy and sell human beings.
People buy and sell babies all the time.
No, not strictly speaking, Mrs. Schertz.
I think my mom got money when she gave up a kid.
In private adoption, people pay for the birth mother's expenses and the lawyer's services, but don't buy the baby.
So what you're saying is the heart that is in that woman, my heart, is still mine?
In my view, in a strictly legal, abstract, academic sense, that's right.
God.
De facto, in reality, that is something else.
It could outlive me. My own heart, I miss it. I miss it so much.
That must be hard.
So what can you do about it?
Do about it?
As a lawyer, as my attorney.
Oh, the whole matter might be highly irregular and legally suspect, but what's done is done.
So that's it. There's nothing.
Well, if you're experiencing negative effects, we could sue for damages, pain, and suffering.
You're a legal hotshot. For once, I can pay whatever it takes, and there's still nothing anybody can do?
No, I haven't said that. I need to think about this and do some research. There are some very interesting issues here.
That could put you on the legal map.
Crossfade, classroom. Frank is winding up a class.
All right, so read chapter 12 in Shoemaker. I'll hand back your case studies next time. The papers were quite good. I appreciate all the creative thinking you put into them. Thank you.
He sits at the little desk. Verdi approaches and Frank senses someone standing nearby.
Yes? Oh, Bertie, hi.
I liked what you talked about with value, about what things are worth, but even money itself is worth.
You were in class?
Right outside in the hall. Interesting stuff.
Thank you.
So how are you, Frank?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine. You like teaching?
I think I do. How about you? Things are good?
Fine. Few issues. I'm seeing a podiatrist.
A psychiatrist?
Podiatrist. For the feet. Circulation.
Oh, sorry.
Well, may not have gotten such a good heart in this deal.
But you're getting top-notch care, right?
You seduced me, Frank. You did. You wined me and dined me. You flirted. I thought we had a real connection.
I did too. We did. We do.
Well, so where does this go?
What?
Us.
Bertie, I don't know what to say.
I have new legal counsel
Good. You should.
that I got for myself, not working or paid for by you.
Okay.
They don't think that contract I signed was valid.
It was valid in the best way a contract can be. Parties agreed to and met their terms. The contract is just a piece of paper until people act on it. In this case, both sides met their obligations completely. You certainly did. We did too.
It's null and void since it was illegal to start.
Bertie, what's done is done. If ever there was a case where that was true, this is it. And nothing can change that. I'm so sorry you're not feeling as good as we would all like. But
She takes a document on legal paper out of her purse.
This is a lawsuit. Frank, I thought if I was going to do this, I should have the courage to give it to you in person.
what can you sue for? You got all the money.
It's not about money. It's about repossession.
Repossession.
Getting my heart back. You used me, Frank. Oh, don't give me some slick answer. You were using me. Same as if you wanted a body for a fuck. Only instead of my vagina, you wanted my heart. Which you got. For your precious Catherine. Well, you know what? You get something by unfair means, the rightful owner can sue to get it back. Just like that painting with all the gold that the woman got returned from the Nazis. My lawyers wrote up a suit, but I told them not to serve it yet.
She stuffs the papers back in her purse and Frank watches with concern.
Why did you come here, Bertie?
I told you to talk.
What do you want, Bertie? You're upset with the way things were done, but what is it you want now?
You, Frank.
I don't understand.
Well, I want you. I think we could be good together. You did right by Catherine. You saved her life. I'm sure that there was a real spark between us, and I just want a chance for that spark to grow.
I don't know how to answer this.
Well, you can think about it, take some time, but then say yes.
And if I don't?
Well, then I guess I'll see you in court.
Crossfade, Shapley apartment, Catherine and Frank.
Can she do this?
No, it's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
You're not sure?
Teddy is an attorney, and he thinks it's absurd.
He's not a litigator.
He's talking to a litigator.
So you're taking this seriously, preparing for it?
We have to prepare for any eventuality.
The problem is, she's right.
What are you talking about?
She's right. We shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have her heart.
What, you'd be?
I'd be dead. And that's what should have happened.
Crossfade, mansion. Verdi in pajamas and slippers, hair unwashed, is smoking a cigarette. She takes aspirin from a bottle, pours herself a scotch, and takes the aspirin with the scotch. She picks up the phone and dials.
Hey, is Barkin there? Birdie Shirts. Barkin, it's Verdi. The Shapleys haven't answered. So let's move this thing along.
Crossfade, Shapley apartment. Teddy has joined Frank and Kathy.
I felt I had to tell you right away. We've heard from Verdi Shirts.
And
She is suing
me?
you and Catherine, the company, even though you're out of it. I am also named.
She can't pull this off, can she?
I think we're in good shape. In hindsight, it would have been better if Verdi had represented by independent counsel at the time, but that wasn't a real option, and no judge would order an operation to return the heart that beats inside Kathy to Verdi Shirts.
Right.
Even if he disapproved of the original procedure, he would have been condoning to the same thing in reverse. We'd use that to support our position.
That makes sense.
But that's a long, long way off. If it gets that far, we will throw up so many legal hurdles that what occurred and the parties involved will be ancient history by the time this sees a courtroom. She'll back off before we reach that point.
Who is representing her?
Ron Barkin. He's an attorney whose practice has had more time to do with tax planning and wealth management.
Not a litigator?
Not for years. He was a star in law school, law review, and prestigious clerkship. He was a very effective public defender for about 5 years, an amazing win record. Then maybe to make some money, he went into private practice.
So is he formidable or rusty?
We can't underestimate him. He's taking this on because he sees something important, legal issues, precedents, and he must believe that he has a strategy to prevail. He is extremely smart.
Formidable then.
But so is our position. This may take some time to play out. You just live your normal life.
Yeah. We'll do our best.
This will stay private, won't it, Ted?
Verdi should be interested in keeping a low profile as we are.
Crossfade, the mansion. Verdi talks to Barkin on the phone.
This isn't working.
The legal system has never been about fast results.
We've had no results. I feel they're stalling.
They are.
Well, can't we shake things up?
I can try, but it might shake up your life too.
My life? Shake away.
Lights dim on Verdi. Barkin hangs up, dials.
Hey, amigo. How's the elbow? Well, let's get back on the court. How about tomorrow? I'll bring the balls. You bring your racket and reporter pad. Trust me, this will make your elbow feel better. All I can say on the phone is one word: exclusive. I thought you'd feel that way. See you tomorrow.
Crossfade, Shapley apartment. Sounds of a crowd outside, the flash of camera lights in the windows. Catherine enters quickly, gets the door closed behind her, and leans against it.
God, Frank.
Frank is watching TV. We hear the newsman's words. The woman bought this 12,000 square foot mansion using part of $600 million she was paid for her heart, her living heart.
I'm so sorry.
A girl screamed at me in the hall outside of class. She called me a greedy, selfish bitch.
Oh, but Teddy recommends a change of strategy. Just try to move this along now. Get to trial. Put it behind us.
Okay, but in the meantime, I don't want to be around here, Frank.
I still have my little mountain cabin. Not far. We couldn't find a buyer for it in the liquidation.
Let's go to your cabin then. Frank, I know that everything you did it for me.
For us.
But if you'd asked me then, I can't really say what I would have done. But you didn't.
You were in no condition to ask.
You wouldn't have changed the course you were on anyway. Everything you accomplished in life, you achieved by going after what you wanted, making things happen. Damn the consequences.
So I'm glad I didn't know. That I didn't have to go against your wishes to keep you with me. I'll get the cabin set up.
Crossfade, Verdi's mansion. Dr. Roth examines her.
Seeing some things I don't like. Are you following the dietary and exercise guidelines?
I've been kind of busy. How's Catherine doing with my heart?
She had trouble with some of the drugs at first, but she's doing well now. It really beat the odds with the closeness of the match. Phenomenal, really.
Really?
Crossfade, a mountain cabin. Very basic, wood-burning stove, bunks, wooden chairs, table. Frank reads an email to Catherine.
My name is Andrew Kroger. Most people call me Andy. My brother Cal developed renal failure, so I gave him one of my kidneys. I was paid by the smile on his face when his wife delivered their first baby. If I had accepted money and my brother or a stranger had chosen to offer a financial reward or other goods, I believe would have been his right to offer, and my right to receive such a payment. Sincerely, Andy.
Lights on Verdi's mansion. Verdi reads to Barkin.
I'm a medical ethicist. I examine situations in the field of medicine, and I can state categorically that at my hospital, this operation simply wouldn't have happened. The first rule of medicine, do no harm. There's never a sufficient reason to do major surgery on a healthy person.
Physicians operate on healthy people all the time. They remove excess fat, change the shape of noses, and get rid of wrinkles. They make boobs bigger and smaller and penises longer. There's always been trade in body tissue, hair, blood, semen.
Those parts are all renewable. They grow back.
I must remain anonymous. It will be obvious why. I too gave away an organ for money. The daughter of someone I had known casually in college needed part of the liver. We pretended that we were dear friends, that I was the girl's godmother. Secretly, I was paid $100,000. I used the money to help pay off my mortgage and to put my own daughter through college. I regard this payment as I would money earned for work, for my time, my effort, my risk. I feel that I have the right to decide to do this.
Dear Miss Shirts, my name is Aurelia McCarthy. Some friends and I have formed South Lake Women for Verdi Shirts. We were hoping you could join us at our candlelight vigil to protest the victimization of an ordinary woman who was taken advantage of by a giant corporation's smooth-talking lawyers.
Over 300 of these messages are from people who are willing to sell their hearts. We've also gotten offers from people who are willing to give you, just give you a new heart if you need to give yours back to Verdi.
It's incredible.
I mean, they send pictures, bios, and here's a lady who wants $10,000, and a guy asking for $1 billion. He runs marathons. He says he's got the Rolls Royce of hearts.
Crossfade, Shaptronics commissary, slow afternoon hours. Verdi sits at a table over a cup of coffee. Denise is refilling salt shakers, etc. for breakfast. Outside it rains and a TV is on above the counter, showing pictures of flooding from the storm.
That rich bitch tricked me out of my own heart. That's not just me talking. Some of the smartest people in the country, the biggest editors and professors have told me that I was taken advantage of.
And they all have their agendas.
Yeah, true. I feel like the world's biggest fool.
But Verd, haven't other people sold organs? In India, Turkey, Southeast Asia, kidneys and stuff for like a couple, $3,000?
Exactly. But it's real exploitation. The rich taking advantage of the poor and desperate.
But Verdi, $600 million?
The damn principle is the same, isn't it?
She slams down the cup, breaking off the handle.
Hey!
The second lawyers told me that my first lawyers played me for an idiot. But now I wonder if they're just going and doing a bigger job on me.
I don't know, but I do think all this support Verity shirt stuff is making you a little crazy.
Yeah, everybody is working me.
I know you, Verity. You can be a love, but sometimes you let your anger run you.
I've got a goddamn right to be pissed off.
She wipes more crockery off the table, stands with mounting fury. Denise watches Verdi run out, shaken by her friend's pent-up hostility. Crossfade, mansion. The TV blasts coverage of a demonstration supporting Verdi. Chants from the crowd, Verdi, 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 and a speaker protesting the injustice done to her.
This woman has been wronged.
If possible, projected images splash the entire set, wheeling, spinning, pulsing. Instead of encouraging, the commotion only seems to add to Verdi's distress. She sits alone, crying quietly, distraught. Abruptly, she throws the remote at the TV. It shuts off. The silence is striking. Verdi takes a step, then, with a gasp, clutching her chest, crumples to the floor. Crossfade, a hospital room. Rain outside. Verdi is in bed, IV tubes in her arms, O2 tubes in her nose. Dr. Roth listens with his stethoscope.
It has stabilized, but there's a deterioration of the heart that I never would have anticipated.
Give it to me straight. Am I going home?
We are going to be able to release you now, but we need to stop this rate of decline. Or a point would come where you would need a new heart.
She looks at him with some surprise. Then she reacts in a way he doesn't at all expect. She smiles. Crossfade, cabin, morning. Frank comes in with the paper, which he has driven into a nearby town to buy. He is in sport coat and tie, Kathy in sweats.
Lots on the storm and the flooding. Verdi's shirts has dropped off the front page. You might want to think about going back to work.
I might. I'm liking this, Frank. This is the best, getting up, being together.
You know, if you went back to school, we'd be together more. Think about it. Can we get back to normal?
She kisses him. They walk outside.
Have a great day.
You know, we could continue to live in the cabin. We'd have that nice long ride together.
We'll talk. I'll drive in this afternoon. We'll go out to dinner tonight.
Sure. What? What is this?
What I said. Some thoughts on future planning. I'll tell you over dinner. Don't worry, it'll be good.
They kiss, and he goes. Catherine goes back inside. She opens an ironing board, starts to work on a pile of clothes in the basket. She hears a car drive up. Unusual. Frank coming back for something he forgot? She walks to the door when suddenly it is flung open. Verdi Shirts stands in the doorway.
Hey. Frank, gone to school?
He just left. You must have just passed him.
I was parked on the side of the road, waiting for him to leave. He'll be gone most of the day, I imagine. You like it here in the sticks?
I do.
Quiet.
I like it quiet. What is it you want, Verdi?
Producing a stethoscope.
Quick check.
She slips the buds into her ears, and before Kathy has a chance to react, she presses the bell to her chest.
Hey.
Shh.
Verdi listens intently. Then a satisfied smile slowly grows on her face, a look of almost maternal pride. Eyes closed, enjoying the music of her beloved heart.
Hello there.
Catherine pushes her away, and Verdi allows herself to be pushed.
Verdi, look, I am very, very appreciative of what you did for me.
I'm sure you are.
We want things to be good for you.
Well, that's a problem.
Tell me, we'll help.
Will you?
What is it, Verdi?
What is it? You got this great heart. And mine? I've got a lemon.
What do you mean?
It's given out.
Verdi, my God.
Yeah, my goddamn luck, huh?
I'm sorry.
So this is where you're living now?
We have an apartment in the city, but we had to get away from the craziness, all the attention from your suit.
You cook on that?
Yes,
I don't see a TV.
not here. I love it.
Hell, everything works out for you.
I don't understand what it is that you want.
What I really want? Oh, simple. My old heart back. The one God gave me.
Wow. If there's anything else, really.
Really? What? There is one other thing.
What? Whatever, just tell me.
Before I made the deal to give you my heart, Frank and I had dinner.
Uh-huh.
He told you about that?
No, I didn't know.
Right. Well, it was a very nice dinner date. And as a matter of fact, we really bonded.
Bonded? What happened?
Oh, nothing overt happened. I mean, we didn't sleep together, if that's what you're thinking.
I wasn't.
Weren't you? Just for a second? But there was a real connection. And yeah, I knew Frank was flirting with everything he had, but he's a very attractive man. The fact is, Frank and I have something. And I know it's real.
I know that he genuinely likes you.
And I like Frank. So the answer here is obvious. You can keep the heart, but give me the man.
What? That's crazy. It's not possible.
Would anyone have ever thought our little transaction was possible? Are we not in the realm of impossible and unthinkable here?
Verdi, you can't be serious.
That's what I said when they first brought up the transplant idea, but they were serious. And I'm serious. Dead serious.
It's not that simple.
Simpler than a pair of domino heart transplants?
Verdi, I wish that we could go back to the way things were, but we're stuck with the situation now.
Or not. What I want is so basic. My old heart that God gave me, and I figured out how to do it.
Right. You're suing us, but that is...
Oh, that damn lawsuit? Like, that's gonna work with the wheels of justice creaking along so nothing happens for 40 years. And you know that no judge is gonna have the guts to rule in my favor anyway. I'd be an idiot to count on that. No. I'm talking about getting my heart back now.
Now.
Right now. Today.
What are you saying?
My heart is failing. So I need a donor. Like you did. Someone young, brain dead, with a functioning heart. Victim of an accident, say. Or a crime.
Things have gotten a little more complicated.
Everything is always complicated.
Verdi, there are two hearts beating here now.
This stops Verdi, who cocks her head and studies Catherine narrowly.
You're gonna have a baby. Well, shit.
This means...
Oh, I know what kids means. A ton of grief.
Abruptly, Catherine makes a run for the door, but Verdi has anticipated this and steps in front of her, pulling a gun, Parks's, from her purse.
This conversation is not over.
Crossfade, classroom. Frank works at the desk. His cell phone rings. He looks at the display and he answers.
Hey, Teddy.
Lights up on Teddy on his cell.
Look, I'm glad I got you. I thought you might be on a sail range at the cabin.
Oh, no, I'm still at school. Catherine's meeting me in town for dinner.
Yeah, I wanted to let you know about a strange phone call I got from Ron Barkin.
Verdi's lawyer?
Yeah, I sensed he was trying to walk the line between attorney-client privilege versus social responsibility.
Well, what does that mean, Ted? I'm not following.
Well, it was an elliptical conversation, but I sensed he was trying to warn us.
About?
Verdi. He couldn't reveal the contents of the conversation with his client, but he may have sensed an irrational element in something she said.
Irrational?
Disturbing, maybe even dangerous. When are you going to be with Catherine?
Well, she should have been here already.
Can you reach her on a cell?
Oh, I've been trying to. She hasn't picked up, but she never likes to answer the phone when she's driving.
She'll probably be there soon then.
Frank comes to a quick decision, stands and grabs his things.
I'm gonna head back to the cabin.
He hangs up, worried, and hurries out. Crossfade cabin. Catherine sits. Verdi paces, holding the gun.
God, all I wanted was for once to get it right. I didn't do work right or marriage and family right. Hell, I didn't even do high school right.
You were homecoming queen.
Smiling and waving and acting like everything was fine, already knowing I was pregnant.
The sound of a helicopter passing overheard makes Verdi glance up.
So you got married too young.
I didn't get married then. I lost the baby. But I tried marriage not long after, still too young, and it lasted just long enough for me to end up with 2 kids, no child support, and both of them thinking I'm a witch. I'd figured with the big bucks and buying them stuff, at least I would fix that.
You can relax more, being financially secure.
I don't feel secure.
With $600 million,
I don't know. I just don't trust it.
you don't trust much of anything, Verdi.
Well, damn right. With all the crap that's happened in my life, my dad running off, me an only child, and my mom on the sauce, it was an accident. One of her accidents. It's a wonder she kept me. She probably shouldn't have. Pretty hard to trust.
I'm an only child. My mother died when I was in my teens. My father was killed in the Gulf War when I was still in college.
Oh,
I had to work and get a student loan to continue. Academics didn't come easily, actually. I had to study longer and harder than all the other students. I got a degree and I earned a teaching position in a competitive field. And I did things. I skied, I climbed mountains, dated some. But I think I was afraid of another loss, so I never got too close. Until Frank. He was older and a workaholic, but he was going to sell his business.
I know. They were doing layoffs.
We were going to slow down and have more time together. When suddenly my heart gave out from a congenital condition, this part, Frank gave up every dime that he had earned in order for me to have some more time on this earth. I'm lucky. I'm happy, but it didn't just happen.
Well, isn't that my point? You're getting my heart wasn't an act of God. It was made to happen in a way that wasn't right.
The sound of a car pulling up, hurried footsteps, then the door opens, and Frank, standing in the doorway, can at first only see Catherine. He turns and sees Verdi, and then sees the gun.
Hey, Frank.
Verdi, hello. Can we talk?
Catherine and I have been talking.
What about?
Getting things right.
She pulls her cell out with her free hand and hands it to Catherine.
Read.
Dear Ferdy, we represent 6 different feminist groups, all of whom are supporting you. Some people question why we see this as a feminist issue. But let's be honest, does anybody believe for a second that this ever would have happened if the donor had been a man? This is a sophisticated, wealthy, yuppie couple using millions of dollars and their legal clout to gain possession of a poor woman's rightful flesh and blood.
They're talking about this the way they would talk about a child custody battle.
Well?
Your heart isn't a separate being.
No, but if I've been unfairly deprived of it, like a mother whose child is taken away, hey, it happened to my own mother. I'm the victim.
I don't think most people who look at getting hundreds of millions of dollars as a victimization.
If you killed someone, could you pay his family $100 million and call it even?
Nobody died here, Verdi.
Again, the sound of a car pulling up. Verdi looks out the window.
I could have.
You didn't. Hey, Catherine didn't.
Footsteps. Teddy enters, looks around, sees the gun in Verdi's hand. She points it at him. He raises his hand as he steps inside.
I'm talking about the principal.
What principal?
You don't pay someone off for losing a life.
But we do. All the time. Families of people who died through medical malpractice or inappropriate policy action are often given money.
That's not the same thing.
We pay the families of the 9/11 victims.
And families who lost someone in the BP disaster. And the government pays the families of collateral damage casualties in Afghanistan and Iraq.
Seriously?
The going rate is between $1,500 and $2,000 for a life.
Those were payments for a screw-up or an act of violence. That's not what happened here.
You're right, Verdi. You're right. This situation is different because you made a choice, an informed choice. War casualties don't usually get asked, but you knew the deal going in and you took the deal.
You want to believe it was a deal. I was seduced.
Every deal is a seduction. And every seduction is a negotiation. Each side attempts to entice the other to its object, to do something or give up something.
I surrendered what I didn't have a right to give.
You don't have a right to your own body.
Prostitutes don't have the right to sell their bodies for sex.
Well, maybe they should. In some places, what they do is legal.
In this country, there's a law. The National Organ Transplantation Act that says you can't buy and sell human organs. That's why you went offshore. You aren't going to deny that, are you, Teddy?
No. We went outside of the US so that US law would not, in fact, apply to our arrangement. So it doesn't. But you know, Verdi, even under current law in this country, blood platelets are sold. Human eggs are sold. In the US, every day, we researched all of this. We call the women from whose bodies the eggs are removed donors. But that doesn't change the fact that
strict economic transaction.
People make more platelets. A woman can produce more eggs. A person only has one heart.
Which is why you received a replacement heart.
A dud.
What?
I told you, Frank, my heart is sick.
I'm sorry.
I am too. We were very careful about the source.
Yeah, Teddy, you're nothing if not careful.
I'm truly sorry, Verdi. At this point, there isn't any more we can do.
There isn't any more you're willing to do.
I'd do anything.
Really? You'd agree to leave them and be with me?
Them.
He doesn't know.
No, what?
Guess you two don't communicate so great after all, Frank. If she didn't share the big news that you are going to be a daddy.
Frank looks at Kathy, who nods in confirmation. Sound of a helicopter flying low overhead. Then,
This is Sheriff Richard Orr. We have a report of a possible disturbance and a weapons violation. We need to ask that all those present in the shapely cabin at this time to come out on the porch unarmed with your hands in plain view.
the others turn to Verdi to see how she'll respond. She shakes her head.
Not going to happen.
Verdi, someone is going to get hurt.
That's the plan.
This can't be what you're planning.
It's better than what I was planning. We'll get the local constabulary to create the perfect donor for the heart I need. The one I started with.
You're insane.
Frank,
All those inside the cabin, you must comply with this order.
Teddy's cell phone rings. He points to it, looks at Verdi.
Go ahead.
Yeah? Hey, what, Ron? Cheers. Ron barking. He wants to talk to you.
What's up?
Verdi, hi. I am outside the cabin.
Hey, join the party.
They won't let me inside the perimeter. Don't peek out. Do not go near the windows. I'm looking at a lot of firepower out here. Deputies, SWAT, I can't get them to stand down.
Well, they shouldn't. They should do their jobs.
Going
Right,
towards the
guys?
window. She stands with her arms raised, the gun in full view of the cops outside, then moves to Catherine.
You're shaking. You cold? Here,
She takes off the jacket she is wearing and throws it to Catherine.
put this on.
I'm all right. Thanks.
Put it on and get up.
As Catherine stands, puts on the jacket.
Come over here by the window.
Wait.
Verdi, it's not going to work. You and the others should support you now. You're right. What we did shouldn't have happened. But you wanted it. You were begging to do this, and you got a boatload of money for it.
I never denied that. I also saved a life.
You made this deal in order to change yours, and you did the right thing for the wrong reasons.
But the reasons don't matter.
Don't they, Frank? It doesn't matter that you did the wrong thing, even for the right reasons.
Enough. Just get over by the window.
No, Verdi, this is not how it ends.
Verdi is stopped, quiet. Another helicopter sweep low overhead, followed by the bullhorn voice.
All those inside, come out now.
$600 million and everything is so screwed up. Why did my heart have to be such a good match for your body?
You haven't put that together yet, Verdi?
What?
What do you mean?
What do you wait, what do you mean, Catherine?
I'm 14 months older than you. I was adopted. Never got to know much about my birth mother other than that she came from this part of the States. But our genetic similarities are not by accident.
No way. You think we had the same mother?
Birth mother? Yes.
So do I. Based on all the research, I'm pretty sure now.
You didn't think that was worth sharing, did you, Ted?
At the point when I had the whole picture, we were so far along, I didn't want to confuse things.
You would have liked our mom, Catherine. She had her problems, but she was whip smart and had guts.
Well, you're smart and gutsy. And you're a better person than you give yourself credit for. This was never just about money for you.
Nobody gets that.
I get that. You put your life on the line to benefit your children.
I did. I mean, they're trying, and well, they're little boys, but God, I love their soft top. I do.
I know.
Bertie, you can't want your half-sister and your future niece or nephew to die today.
I don't. Oh, God.
Verdi puts her free hand to her chest, takes a staggering step forward, sits down heavily on the floor.
Verdi, what's wrong?
Same as before, a couple months ago. This time they'll put me on the list for a new heart.
Frank takes advantage of Verdi's distress to grab the gun and to slip the jacket off Catherine.
But not Catherine's heart.
He jumps, standing in front of the window, holding the gun, the jacket over his shoulder. The glass explodes. Frank falls, wounded.
No!
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 Crossfade, hospital room. Verdi is in the bed.
Verdi's replacement heart gave out, but a suitable donor heart was available and close at hand, Frank's. When Verdi recovered from the surgery, she was tried and convicted for kidnapping, assault, and attempted murder. Teddy and I pleaded for leniency at her trial. She hadn't, after all, pulled the trigger, but she was sentenced to 3 to 5 years at a medium security women's facility.
Sound of a baby crying. Lights up on another hospital room. A newborn baby is placed on Catherine Shapley's chest.
Shortly after Verdi's sentencing, I gave birth to a healthy baby boy.
The movie screen from the opening slowly descends, and instead of the earlier images of Shaptronics Corporation, there are scenes of prison inmates in an exercise yard.
In prison, Verdi organized a group of inmates offering their organs for donation in return for early release.
Verdi appears on one side of the stage, down front.
The proposal horrified some, but was attractive to patients who had no other alternatives. My plan may be the first sanctioned exchange of organs for compensation, although not exactly money.
Catherine appears on the other side of the stage, down front.
There remains a critical shortage of donor organs. 96,000 people are on a wait list for organs in this country. Most will die before receiving a transplant.
In 2009 in New York State, the first lawsuit was filed in which a donor sought to recover a previously donated organ.
The kidney he had donated 7 years earlier
to his wife.
The screen and the stage go black. The end. All right. I'm going to have all of the actors come back on screen. Great job, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone out there for watching. This was Fair Trade by Seth Freeman. We are Upright Theater Company presenting this for the original work series presented by Arts Fort Worth. So a big thank you to Arts Fort Worth for having us. If you want to come check us out, Upright Theater Company is located in Euless, Texas, and we have lots of shows all season long for adults and families. We also have a big education program with classes and things like that. So check us out. Our website is www.uprighttheater.org, and that's upright, UPRIGHT, theater, THEATRE.org. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to all of our wonderful actors. You are fabulous, and we will see you next time. Thank you. Good night.